they would probably make a cut like that, and then it would just peel it all off. And when the tree's ready for it, you can just pull on the strand like that and go all the way up until it breaks. And then the ladies would roll it up, roll the cedar up, take it home, and they put it in big buckets of water to soften it. And they do that for a couple of days, and then they start stranding it, whether they're going to make clothing out of it or they're going to make rope out of it. So that was the beginning of the use of the cedar. And then later on in the years, the dust, everything was used. And then if a tree had to be taken down, it was used for housing, like making longhouses. I'd take you to our longhouse today if I had a key. I might be able to get in there. But in our longhouse, the whole structure, the cedar trees are like 4 feet through and 110 feet long.
Wow.
And they're cross members. There's like 3 or 4 of them to make the roof. And then the ends, this big timbers to hold those up. They're huge.
Wow.
And those trees were taken from our village way far up the inlet, north from here, about 60 miles. And that village, the people that looked after that village, that's all they did was they carved the canoes. So there were 4 different types of canoes that they carved. One ocean going, which was huge. The canoe was about 60 feet long and wide, and they would be for use going out in the ocean.
Like open water.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there were smaller ones, like for individuals. Like I had one that was 8 feet long. That was my toy. So growing up, that was my toy. I'd go surfing with it. I'd go paddling in the waves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was my toy.
Cool.
And then there was longer ones for racing. So there was different uses for the 4 different types of canoes that this family built. This family, that's all they did. So they would trade with the other families. So the deer hunters, the gatherers, the medicine people would trade them for the canoes. So it was like a whole community of being independent, not needing anything.
Like a completely self-sufficient economy.
Yeah.
Just trade economy.
That's right.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, there was a village comprised of the shamans and the medicine people. They knew all the medicines and how to mix it to make the medicines. And this family, all he did was canoe.
And so all the knowledge is just passed from generation through the family.
That's right.
So that family just knew, and if anybody needed something from that, that strand of knowledge, they would just know to go to that family.
From generation to generation, thousands and thousands of years.
Wow.
That was the purpose of that family, that they passed down to their young ones. And those young ones traded off with the other families, the other villages. And that's the way we survived. You know, when I do talks like this, people ask me, did your people have cancer? No. Did your people have mental illness? No. Did you have this? No. So what do you determine? How do you prevent that? We prevented it with medicines and food that we ate. The medicine woman gave us medicine and food that we ate. We didn't know it as children, but it was preventing all of that, right? So we were healthy all of our lives.
Right.
And most of our people lived till about 115, 120. And their hair was still black. They had their own teeth. They had,
Wow.
They just died of old age. They died happy. Yeah. So that's the difference between the cultures, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we got pharmaceuticals and people in Europe making these pharmaceuticals saying this is good for you. Take this to prevent that. But that causes stomach ulcers. So here's another medicine to prevent that stomach ulcer. It goes on and on and on. They're making millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Do you think there's something to be said also about just like the energy of like being connected to the land? And
we had a sacred connection to the land. This is a living forest. You know, so there was that sacred connection. There was a deep respect. So the land, the forest, and the people lived in harmony with one another. We protected it. We nourished it. They nourished us back. So that was a community in this whole region.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop here. It went to other tribes
Yeah.
where we traded with. So like a regional government, we were totally independent, interdependent
Hmm.
with other First Nations too.
Hmm.
So yeah, I have a lot of stories about that too.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So like when I go to Vancouver Island tomorrow, those people know who I am in that village over there.